I wanted to discuss this because it's actually a really interesting topic for me. Basically, the Monster Hunter topic and everything that is going on. Right now, if we open Steam, you can see that there is an overwhelmingly negative kind of thing going on. I get it. The performance issues and everything is fucked. I know. I agree with that. 100% agree with that. Do I think this is deserved? No. The mixed, yes. The overwhelmingly negative, no. I think people are making more than it should be. And I'm not saying this because I'm kind of biased. I am kind of biased, you know, I love Monster Hunter, I love the game. But I'm not saying this because I'm biased. I'm saying this because, technically speaking, the game is great. But looking at these reviews, see, there's one guy here that just said, yeah. Looking at these reviews, it's kind of mind-boggling to me. I don't know. Performance and the lack of content for a Monster Hunter game makes it punch in the gut for the players, I might say. I get it, you know. And before Title Update 1, like, things from the title update 1 should have been in the base game, and this should be what we are getting now should be title update 1. And I completely agree with that. That's why I say mixed, I get it. Like, totally warranted. It was a buggy mess in the beginning. The performance has not improved. I mean, it has for me, but since the last update, I had to delete the actual shader files to do that thing because the shaders were not compiling. And after I did that, it solved it. So people are still getting problems with the performance, and that's fucked, you know. But if you could not run the game before, you will not be able to run it now. I'm sorry, it is what it is. It sucked unless they really do an update, and I think they will. I hope they will. I actually hope they will. But this for me is just insane. The way the game, like, I've seen some good reviews. I posted a good review myself to try and stop this because this for me is too much. Not a lot of updates in between. I get it. We played two unfinished games and a half, you know, especially in PC. Uh, World was already almost done when it came to PC, the base game, not Iceborne. We got Iceborne 1 year later than PS4, which was fucking mind-boggling to me. I remember pre-ordering that and I'm like, yeah, I'm not even gonna play it because I lost the hype. It was 1 year later, so fuck it. Yeah, the nitpicking for me is what gets me. Like, I get all the criticisms, and I agree with most of them. Okay, I agree with most of them. The story is very on the rails. Even though I love the concept of the story itself, it is very on the rails. The game is easier as a whole. That's true. Hey, that's true. Even though Mizutsune can put you out in like one hit, unless you're building for tank or something like that. One hit, Mizutsune, done. What I'm hoping for this update is more performance. I know it's not going to be perfect. That takes a while to get used to make it right. I know it's not going to be perfect. So what I want from this update is better performance overall, not perfect performance, but better. Actual content. The nitpicks that I've seen is, for example, the game looking bad. I'm wondering if the people play the same game that I did. Like, out of anything that you can complain about, you know, streamlined story, the performance being shit, easier games and monsters and shit like that, the graphics is not one of them, pal. Like, just mess with your settings. That's all I have to say. Just mess with your settings. I know there is a trick to get out that washed look that you have on the beginning. Everybody knew about that. Everybody fixed it. If you don't know it, you just put on the brightness settings. You put crank it to the max. On the whites, on the blacks, crank it to the lowest, and then on the middle terms, I think it's contrast or something like that. You go, like, I would say in constant fives. I think I have mine at 30, and that's why my contrast is big, because I like big contrasty stuff. I'm a videographer and I work with video, so I like contrast. It's one of my weaknesses. I know sometimes it looks like shit, so that's why I not use it all the time, but I have a weakness spot to it. But I think it looks great. I know it has blurry texture sometimes, especially when you're loading in. Like, after the shader compilation, the first time you load, everything will look like shit. You get out of the game, you come back in, everything is loaded, and it's fine. And I don't really notice the muddy textures and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just a me thing. Uh, and maybe yeah, I think, but nonetheless, I still think that people are nitpicking about it. Other thing that I saw is the weapons are not fun. People are nitpicking about the gameplay, and I mean I get it. They changed the weapons, they changed how the game is played. I get that. Like, if it's not for you, it's not for you. I get it. I might have for the frame gen. I disabled frame gen on my new GFX card, and I'm getting stables 80s. The performance has gotten better, but it is inexcusable that it still sometimes stutters on a brand new system. I agree. I agree with that. Performance is a big issue. They have to solve that shit like ASAP, like yesterday. They should not wait for a title update to do that shit. They should have done that a long time ago. But they are hardworking and they probably having some problems with Capcom. Not gonna lie, Capcom is watching. We know, and the higher ups at Capcom are probably one asking the developers like, "Oh, why is this happening?" Well, maybe because you force a quarter 4 release for this game, you know. But that's not the wisest. I don't think the game should have been delayed. I think everybody would be sad if the game was delayed. I'm happy to play what I played. I'm happy to come back to it and play even more after this update. We'll see.